Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the DTM Esports Pro Series 2024. It's finale time. We're here at the Hockenheimring, very similarly to what they do in real life for the finale. Not every single season, but most seasons. My name is Luke Crane. I'll be one of your commentary and host party, I guess you would like to say. And I'm joined by Connery Maddock. Connery, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Well, I'm super excited for this one. It's finale. We'll be crowning a champion at the end of today. That's an interesting thing, right? Still don't quite know who it will be. We have a pretty good idea, but it's still left open.
Yeah, 100%. Two title protagonists. Realistically, there is potentially three. So Kevin Siggy in third position, of course, our reigning champion, has a very outside chance. We then have ourselves Nikodem Wisniewski, who is in second position, and Tim Yarsha, who is quite far in the front and basically needs to score 20 points today, and he will be crowned our champion. But the cars they're going to be using today are DTM 2023. So maybe you're sat at home thinking, I want to get involved in this. I want to get myself in some of these cars. Well, you can do. Go to RaceRoom and you can indeed buy the content. But here's a little video to show you what you can go and purchase. So there you go, guys. It is available in the RaceRoom sim right now. So go get yourself involved. And maybe you've not even ever tried RaceRoom. There's lots of free base content. It's not a subscription-based service. You can just literally download the sim and get yourself involved in some of their ranked events right now. So head to raceroom.com. Right. It's all about today, Connery. Of course, like I've just mentioned, three drivers with the potential of winning this championship. It's more than likely between two. And realistically, it is just that one driver, isn't it? Tim Yarshall has been the standout so far. Nikodem Wisniewski has been clipping at his heels, but Tim has been exceptional all season long.
Yep, he really has. And it's, he hasn't won every single race. It's not like a period of absolute dominance, but it's just that consistency of finishing inside the top three, inside the top five, race to race to race to race. And that's what makes a championship. You can have sort of spiky performances. You win some, then you fall down the order on some others, but that's not how you win a championship. How you win a championship is through consistent finishes, which is what Tim Yarshall has done oh so well over the course of this season. He just needs to put the cherry on top of the cake now.
Yeah, ironically, last week he did finish again in the top five. It's actually in the top two in race number one, but got a penalty, which put him down to P9. So a post-race penalty has made this a little bit more interesting with Nikodem Wisniewski, again, not far behind. It needs to be 20 points scored by Tim Yarshall today to be crowned our DTM Esports Pro Series champion 2024. Right, maybe you're not up to speed. Maybe you didn't catch the Red Bull Ring last time out. We've got a lovely little video to catch you or get you up to speed. Let me go then. It is indeed round 5 kickoff here. And well, as we head up towards turn number 1, it's a very good start from Enzo Benito. And actually, he might have just got himself ahead of the Porsche of our championship leader, Tim Yarshall. Jakub Brzezinski has got ahead of Kevin Siggy, and he's looking to get ahead then of Tim Yarshall. Up through turn 1 they've come now. We come through the imaginary turn number 2, and the gap for Wisniewski is beautiful. Loving life as we head up towards Remus for the very first time. Tim Yarshall is going to look to make a move there on Enzo Benito. No, he does not. And Kevin Siggy has just gone back up the inside of Jakub Brzezinski. He's up to P4. And now Kevin Siggy's got to do all that work once again. Enzo Benito slowing down the German just in behind him. And he's now got to let Kevin go round the outside. As we come down towards Schlossgold, Enzo's done the job. Kevin's going to go round the outside. And that's why it pays to have a teammate in and around the top with you, because it makes it a little bit easier and you can gain some positions. as we come around the final couple of corners. Nikodem Wisniewski, the form driver in the championship, it is safe to say a couple of bad results has rendered him maybe with a slim chance of winning this championship. But as he crosses the line, that championship chance has just become a little bit bigger. Nikodem Wisniewski then does take P1. Kevin Siggy takes second. Enzo Benito takes third. We're about to go green light racing. It is race 10, round 5 of the DTM Esports Pro Series 2024. And they're almost touching as we're waiting those lights to go green. And we are green light racing here. And it's not a good start from either of the front two. And I tell you what, look at this from Marcel Shinshik. Shinshik's going to make it 3, maybe 4 wide. And also there's a red line car getting involved. That's Enzo Benito. Benito runs wide and maybe looking to put a bit of pressure on Tim Yarshall. But that is given the opportunity for Nikodem Wisniewski to get into the lead of this race. And well, we asked the question, could Kevin Siggy, Jeffrey Reaver, or Nikodem Wisniewski keep this championship alive into next week? Well, Nikodem Wisniewski right now is staring down the barrel of a double win, and wow, not just keeping it alive, but with a genuine chance of winning the championship next week at the Hockenheimring. He can't. Krippner has once again scuppered Kevin Siggy, although I think the send here essentially is going to get that job done. But it's a 6.5 second gap now between these and the race leader. Job done. Leonard Krippner, take a bow for your team. That is beautifully done.
Still going to maintain an overlap here. It's not quite done just yet. And how do they negotiate coming down on towards the pit lane when they're side by side like this? If any of them decide to do so, as there we go. I think fan out 3 wide, diving down the inside was Jeffrey Ringfeld there. It's all a bit chaotic back here. Now it's the 2 Falcon cars that are going wheel to wheel with each other. Whoa, a big amount of confusion there as we're seeing a couple of cars down on towards the pit lane. Wisniewski's come down here.
He's got the inside line as we come through turn number 1, of course, with that pit exit. And wow, Nikodem Wisniewski is going to get him, but does anybody else get him? No, he does not. But it wasn't last time round for the last lap. It is this time round for the last lap. Across the line we'll go for Nikodem Wisniewski, the John Cena of the DTM Esports Championship, apart from we can't see him. And he does take the championship into the final races of the season. So there are the highlights from last week. The Red Bull Ring has been and gone. But here is how it stands then. So we've got Tim Yarshall, who is currently leading the championship, 262 points. Then he's ahead of Nikodem Wisniewski by 45 points. So again, it's 64 points up for grabs today. So 20 points is going to do it. That would put him 65 points clear, or yeah, the 65 points would be caught up by Nikodem. He'd need to win both races and still wouldn't be enough. Kevin Siggy, basically Tim needs to score 7 points today, and ultimately then Kevin cannot win the championship. So realistically, the battle is for second. Tim can be caught if he has a really big off day, which is possible. Pressure can indeed come into effect today for sure. Then I'm pretty sure, it would take a monumental breakdown for that to happen. But you never know. But Nikodem Wisniewski and Kevin Siggy both battling to get that second position. And wow, do you want to know what they're fighting for? We've actually got a prize package here as well. There are so many prizes, including money and indeed stuff like real racing and getting your racing license. So yeah, check out this video and you can find out exactly what they're racing for. So there you go, ladies and gentle cars. We've got plenty of prizes up for grabs. We've got money. There's, again, real-life racing opportunities, tests. And also you can win a scooter if you're really, really clean. But the way this championship's gone, I'm not sure anybody's got a clean record on that one. So maybe me and Connery are going to get the scooters. That's great, because we've not incurred any penalty points. Great stuff. Right, here's the calendar, which is the best graphic, because basically there's only one round that really means anything, and that is the Hockenheimring. So we've had lots of rings this time around. It's like a telephone ring. But yeah, today is the final one. Of course, it is the 19th of April. Hockenheimring, 2 races for you. Just to explain to you the format today, we've got 2 races. The first qualifying session is 10 minutes long, and then we go into a 20-minute timed race. It's just a sprint race. There's no such thing as pit stops or anything like that, so they're good to go. If you do pit stop, well, that's because your race has not gone very well. And then the second race is 8 minutes of qualification, and then we head into a 30-minute timed race with a pit stop in the middle. So a mandatory stop where you have to change all 4 tyres. That will open at 7.5 minutes, and then it will close with 7.5 minutes to go. Right, Connery, are you excited for this? Are you ready for this? Because I certainly am not. This is going to be exciting. I reckon we're going to see some unbelievable action today.
Yeah, I think we are as well. I mean, we've got that big old overtaking opportunity down in towards the, well, that one right there. Convenient auto-director camera shot there. Looking down at the exact hairpin I was just going to talk about. People can make so many lunges down into there. You know, you get that run on the back straight and just sling one down the inside there. And we can see some absolutely amazing battles there. Because, you know, got to be honest, over the course of this season, Luke, we haven't really seen that much in the way of overtaking action. I don't think the tracks necessarily that we've been to have been promoting that all too much, but that is different here at the Hockenheimring.
No, you're 100% spot on there. It's not been overtake city, that's for certain, but Hockenheim always lends itself to overtaking, and it's the final round of a championship season. So in real life, basically what that means is that you're probably not going to use that car again, so just chuck it wherever you need to chuck it. And in sim racing terms, well, whatever penalties you incur today will not be added anywhere. So expect anything and everything to happen today, and that's what Tim Yarshall needs to be wary of, because if he gets himself involved in something that he just doesn't need to be involved in, that's what could be the undoing. I think his pace and the way he's been able to deal with things so far, he's golden. I don't think there's going to be anything that can stop him apart from other drivers maybe taking liberties just because it's the final week of the season.
Yeah, he's just got to keep it clean. The situation in the points is a massive help to him at the moment. As long as he doesn't do anything wrong, he's got this, you know, pretty clearly. But, and it's a big but, isn't it? Like you said, other drivers getting involved, maybe him making his own mistakes. We haven't really seen that many mistakes from Yarshall over the course of the season. First time for everything, of course. So you cannot take these things for granted if you're Tim. You've just got to go out there, you know, finish top 5 exactly as you've done throughout most of the season, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, 100%. Again, a top 5 in race number 1 is 14 points at a minimum, and then you just need to finish in a top 16 then in the next race. So it's the hard work's done for Yarshall. That's really what I've been saying for the last couple of rounds. The hard work has been done. It's all about now just making sure you get over that line, and you know, you join the likes of Tim Heinemann, you join the likes of Moritz Lohner, you join the likes of Kevin Siggy. I think the most impressive thing is that he would have beaten 2 of those names that I've just mentioned that are previous champions. They would have been on the same grid as each other.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just shows that well, he's definitely at quite a level at the moment, quite a run of performance. You know, it's absolutely fantastic to see. I mean, he's been around in the RaceRoom side of things for years and years and years, but this time he's the one at the forefront. He's the one gunning for a championship, and, well, he might just get it by the end of these 2 races.
Yeah, but just look what those drivers have managed to go on to. Tim Heinemann is now, you know, a lap record holder at Spa in a GT3 car. You know, that's a very big accomplishment. But he just got a podium last week in the NLS series. You know, he's raced in DTM. That was always his dream from when he was a small child. He managed to race in DTM. He raced in DTM Trophy, a 2-time champion. You've got Moritz Lohner. Moritz Lohner made the transition from sim racing to real racing, raced in DTM Trophy. Just last week he was racing in the LMP3 as well. So he's managed to transition off the back of, you know, such titles as the DTM Esports Championship. Kevin Siggy, you know, DTM is one of the biggest championships he's won, but he's one of the best sim racers in the world. So, you know, winning this championship can take you on to bigger and better things. It is a big opportunity for the likes of Tim Yarshall, maybe even Nikodem Wisniewski. That's the one thing that we do need to factor in here, is Wisniewski has been the form driver in the second half of this season. In terms of his second half results this season, he's managed to get a 3rd, a 1st, a 1st, and a 5th. Tim Yarshall's got a 1st, a 2nd, a 9th, and a 1st. So right now, it is Nikodem Wisniewski who is the fastest. You know, he found himself a fair distance behind after having not the greatest of first halves of the season. But he will not go away. He will keep going until the very end.
Yeah, he will. He absolutely will. He's got to keep himself in it, right? Because you never know what might happen. You never know what might happen to Tim Yarshall over the course of these 2 races. Wisniewski, he just needs to put himself in the best position possible to try and capitalize if it does happen. He's struggling with this qualifying at the moment because he's had to take the toe back to the starting point about 3 or 4 times already as this session's gone on. So it's tough to get a lap out there. But the other concern for Wisniewski as well is like, well, maybe if you do feel that P1 has gotten a little bit too far away at this stage, there's still the battle for P2, and that is still really, really close between himself, Siggy, and Rietveld.
It certainly is. Yeah, there are, there's a test. Obviously, we've got a test with the GT4s. We've got a full race weekend, haven't we, in the Touring Wagon Championship as well. Your race licenses on the line. You need to finish in the top 3 to get the big prizes. So, yeah, between those 3 drivers, I think you're going to find that Jeffrey's going to do everything in his power to help Kevin out today. That's kind of just, the nature of the beast when it comes to teammates. If one of your teammates is ahead in the championship, you kind of just got to help them out. They've done the work to get there during the season. And I think it would have been, roles reversed. It would have been exactly the same. Maybe Enzo could be, a spanner in the works for the other drivers and help out either of those drivers. For Tim, there's a big issue here because his teammates haven't really been in and amongst him. Last week, he got massive help from Leonard Krippner, but other than that, he hasn't really had anybody up there with him. Very similarly to Nikitin and Wisniewski, they've managed to do this on their own. Big surprise, though. Mad Dog Marco Pajic, P1, and Moritz Lohner, P2. And this is good for Tim Yarshall. Why? Because they're taking points away from Wisniewski and Kevin Siggy, who effectively both need to win both races if they've got a chance of winning this championship.
Absolutely. So that's great to see here. I'm seeing a bit of weirdness on the tower as we have 2 Irhan-Yujovskis apparently, but there we go. But Wisniewski heading his way through towards the back end of the lap now, coming through that S's section. It's not been the greatest of laps so far, but at least he's going to get one on the board, and we'll have to see how things go as we see head out the final corner across the start-finish line in just a couple of moments' time. Puts him up into P2. Great banker lap for Wisniewski. Great to see Pajic towards the top of the order, like you said. The BMWs have really been, well, for a word, struggling in terms of the balance of performance this season. So it's good to see them at least, a couple of them towards the front.
Yeah, no, certainly not been the greatest for the Beamers, that's for certain. We've had a BMW win the DTM Championship in real life at the Hockenheimring with Sheldon van der Linde last season. More, I guess, appropriately, sorry, not last season, the season before. Last season, it was a Porsche, which has been the dominant force across the entire season, to be completely honest, here in our DTM Esports Championship. But it is a Beamer on the sharp end here. 400s clear, 600s then clear of Moritz Lohner and Isaac Price, who we're on board with right now, is absolutely flying as we come through the final couple of corners. And when he next does a lap here, can we go on board with him, Connery? Because I'm going to take you for a whole lap of Hockenheimring. Across the line he goes. Does he improve on his time? He does. P2 onto the front row of the grid.
Absolutely. Do you want to do the onboard with Price as well, or?
Yeah. Doing on board with Mr. Isaac Price and round the final couple of corners. And we will venture around the Hockenheim Ring. Here we go then, across the start-finish line, the biggest bottle of oil ever on top of the pit plot, or the timing tower to the right-hand side across the start-finish line. It is huge, it is real as well, as we come through turn number 1, which is the Nord curve. And now, well, he starts again, so that's always handy when drivers do that. So it would be a good idea if they didn't bottle turn number 1, which would make my job a little bit easier. Let's try a second time, and if not, then we'll never give Isaac Price the chance again to do this. So around the final corner we go, and across the start-finish line we go. On the right-hand side, the biggest bottle of oil ever on the timing tower. It is real, I can tell you that right now. Through turn number 1 we will go. A little bit of understeer there on the exit, but manages to get it tucked in pretty nicely as we head down now towards turn number 2. This is a very short section of 3 corners. You've got the first one there, the right-hander, and you've got the second one, which is the left-hander, and then the third one, which is coming up right now, which is Parabolica. This is a massive sweeping left-hander. It's flat out. This will open up to be the best overtaking opportunity. I think in the first couple of laps, we might see this go 3, even 4 wide down towards this hairpin. It's such a harsh braking zone. If you're on the brakes there, just the curve appears on the left-hand side of your screen. A bit of a wide entry there. He's trying to maximize his speed on the exit, which seems to be working out pretty well, although he's a little bit down on his time. Now we're coming up towards turn number 7, and we're heading into the Mercedes Stadium section for the first time on this lap, then sweeping through the left-hander, bouncing over the turn number 8 through number 9, and now in towards turn number 10, and he's going to back out of this lap as well. So we're never going to get a lap of Isaac Price ever again, and that will be it. I'm never going to trust him again. Never going to trust him again.
Yeah, it's all completely lost, isn't it? Moritz Lohner, though, doing well over the course of this qualifying session. We're usually used to seeing Lohner, finish, well, not finish, but the qualifying effort that's a little bit further down the order this season. But top 5 start for now, with 3 minutes left remaining. Pretty good going for our former, one of our former champions.
Yeah, certainly. He is, of course, he's won the championship. That is massive. What he's gone on to do since then is quite remarkable. He only got given a test in the DTM trophy, 4 years ago now, and then he was offered a seat for the first round of the season at Monza, I think it was back then, and he performed exceptionally well, and then they gave him a full season, and they ended up racing for 2 full seasons in the end. So very impressive to see Moritz Lohner doing what he has done. He's obviously now moved to the esports organization of Mouse, and he's kind of the poster boy, if you like. That's a wrong word, really, although he's sporting a beautiful tash recently. But yeah, he's kind of the face of the organization, I would say, between him and Benneker, which is a little bit more responsibility on his shoulders, I would say, but he's dealing with that relatively well, and it's nice to see that livery, the Mouse livery, taking part in the DTM Esports, and they're taking part in many of the sim racing championships out there now, which is fantastic to see. But Moritz, a little bit down on his time, as you can see there, 700ths, nearly 800ths of a second down on his time. So currently he is, just over 500ths of being in pole position. Marco Pajic currently holds on to that. Isaac Price second, Felucci in third, Wisniewski is in fourth. Tim Yarshall being in 7th position. He's not going to be too worried about this because Nicodem again has to win both races. So seeing Nicodem down in 4th spot, he's not going to be panicking. I say he's not going to be panicking. He's actually going fast as he's been so far before. As Isaac Price has gone up to P1, so we actually do disappear off of him. We don't get to see a full lap from Isaac Price. And well, in that moment, he goes pole. Moritz Lohner has gone up to 3rd position. It's one of the longest tracks on the calendar, and it's probably the closest qualifying so far. Right now, we have got 17 drivers under 2 tenths separating them. Absolutely ridiculous, as the middle sector for Tim is not great, although he's still about 400ths of a second up. Final couple of corners then for Tim. That's a bit of a mistake there. I'm not sure this is going to be any quicker.
Yeah, just hit the curb awkwardly through the second to last corner. Now coming across the line. P7 for Tim Yarshall. This will be his last effort. Oh! Well, it wasn't enough of a mistake, it seems, there, Luke, as he goes P3.
No, yeah, it looked like it was a real bad mistake in the final sector, but it turns out it was perfect. He moves up into 3rd position. You got the Mad Dog Marco Pajic then in 2nd spot, 6,000ths behind Isaac Price. You got Yuri Toman, who is, I think his first sector might have been an off-track there. It's not popped up with a time, but I guess we're about to find out. Cross line, no, it wasn't. So he's up to P11 then for Yuri Toman. And again, within 1.5 tenths of the top and not in the top 10. Absolutely ridiculous standards from our drivers today. We're looking a little bit further down. We're down to P22 is within 2.5 tenths of a second. As Marco Pajic retakes pole position. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicodem Wisniewski, who needs to be pole, needs to go out there and win this race, is pushing, using all of the exit there. How quick is he going? Across the line he goes. It is no improvement by the looks of things. He's going to start in P6. Marco Pajic, though, the big surprise for Veloce Esports, is taking your pole position. He can't win the pole position award because that's already been won by Tim Yarshall, but Marco Pajic adds himself to the list of pole sitters. We have had ourselves Tim Yarshall 6, Nicodem Wisniewski's got 2. We also have Jeffrey Rietveld, who's got 1. Moritz Lohner's got 1, and now Marco Pajic with 1 as well. So well done, sir. Congratulations. But Nicodem Wisniewski under a little bit more pressure here. It doesn't matter, again, really, for Tim Yarshall, where he finishes, if Nicodem doesn't go out there and win both races. It really is as simple as that. Nicodem has to go and win both races. And with the BMWs looking mighty quick, that might be a struggle today.
Yeah, that's an interesting element that we hadn't quite thought of coming into this one. We have a good handful of BMWs inside of that top 5, inside of that top 10 as well. It's something that we're not used to seeing. Of course, we are used to seeing the top place BMW sort of, you know, just on the inside of the top 10, but not in as huge numbers as we see them here at the Hockenheimring. So finally, the BMWs get a track where they seem pretty comfortable, and everyone else having to wonder where all the speed went. But that's a little interesting challenge now for our championship runners to run around cars that they had and drivers that they had not previously.
Yeah, well, that will make a German very relaxed. That is Tim Yarshall. You'd be very relaxed thinking, I don't need to do as much as I thought I needed to do. We've got other cars that are going to take points away from the likes of Nicodem and Kevin Siggy. And I think now you're going to see Tim Yarshall very much drive within himself. If he gets put under any severe pressure, he probably won't be making any kind of moves or anything like that. So expect Tim Yarshall to not really figure in today's action, to be honest with you. I know it sounds crazy there, Connery, but I just think he keeps himself out of trouble. He's already done the hard work. He leads by 47 points, 64 points on offer. So, yeah, I think he's pretty much done what he needs to do.
Yeah, I think so too. But there is that, single-digit % chance that we might be talking about a different situation at the end of today. And that is definitely worth watching for, let me tell you that. If you also feel that P1 is, kind of signed, sealed, and delivered, well, you'll still want to pay attention to the battle for P2 in the championship as well. Nick Wisniewski, Siggy, Rietveld, all going to be squabbling over that position as they get ready here for their rolling starts. We have to do a full pace lap.
Kevin Siggy starting down in P13. That is not helpful for him in the slightest because he needs to finish ahead of Nicodem Wisniewski. The gap between them is only it's 13 points. So 13 points between them. And Kevin basically cannot afford to finish behind Nicodem in the first race. It's going to be some journey, and there's no pit stops here in terms of strategy. It is all about sprinting your way to the finish of this. And we've got ourselves a formation lap here. Of course, we're partnered with Cupra, just like the real DTM series. Nice to see a pace car or a safety car in our championship. First time ever on RaceRoom as well. So thank you to Cupra for getting themselves involved. Thank you to DTM for bringing realism to the series. Heading then down through Parabolica. It's difficult to see anyone else other than Tim Yarshall winning this championship. He's managed to qualify ahead of his championship rivals, Connery, in third spot. I mean, if he finishes ahead of them, it's almost job done. Well, it is job done. Finishing ahead of them in this first race, it would be job done. He needs to be at least 34 points, or less than 34 points ahead heading into the final race. Just finishing ahead of them would actually extend his lead of 47 points as it stands currently. First job done with his qualifying.
Yeah, I was getting scared for him at least a little bit during that qualifying in the first part of it because he was, P7, P8 in around about that area, which is usually a bit of a danger zone for these drivers. You know, that's where potentially some incidents may happen on the first lap. But no, he's got himself on the second row of the starting grid now, which is a much better position to be in. Not just obviously because of the track position, but to keep yourself out of trouble. And instead it is Wisniewski that's back in amongst the pack a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly is. The last thing Tim needs, though, is to get involved in something pretty scary. You know Nicodem's going to be pushing, that's for sure. Will Moritz be pushing? He'll want to finish off with a podium, and he'll want to finish off with a race win. He's managed to get from outside the top 20 qualifying and get up into the top 5 within lap 1, the Lausitz Ring. He managed to do that almost twice at the Lausitz Ring. His starts are very, very good. His race pace is very, very good. Qualifying's not been quite there. Maybe the car not quite being there for him. So expect Lona to be firing through. Benucci's Italian. There is no off button for an Italian sim racer. It is a fact. They are almost as hairy as they are Hungarians on the circuit. There's actually no Hungarians there, I don't think, for the first time ever. Oh no, there is. Marcel Schincik, of course, has won. There's always a Hungarian on RaceRoom. Right, round the final corner we go, and it's Marko Pajic to take us away for round 6, the final round, race number 11 of the season of the DTM Esports Pro Series 2024. And well, Isaac Price will be on the front row with Marko Pajic, and they are off Green Light Racing. And well, Moritz Lona's got an absolute fly around the outside, already up to P2. Tim Yarshall's getting swallowed as we got cars running off the circuit there, left, right, and indeed centre. That will mean potential slowdown penalties as we head then down towards turn number 2. It is Moritz Lona from 4th on the grid, up to the lead of this race. But what about Wisniewski? Wisniewski is battling side by side with Tim Yarshall. Wisniewski is ahead of Tim Yarshall. They are side by side. He's got a slipstream of Isaac Price in front of him, and he's getting bumped there with his teammate. Brzezinski bumping Wisniewski ahead of Yarshall. He is trying to keep this championship alive. And while he has done the best job possible to start things off, he's got ahead of the championship leader. Whoa, what a start.
Incredible start, and it was all, you know, Pajic just sort of napping on the race start. He left it really long, left it till the last moment to go, and Lona was able to time it. Yes, it was a bit of taking a bit of liberties with track limits through the kink as they're continuing to fight on the live pictures. Here, Pajic down the inside, looking to try and get that race lead away that he lost off of the initial going of this race. He's going to continue to make it side-by-side. No, actually has to shoulder Price out of line a little bit as he'll have to dive down the inside now, coming towards the middle sector. This has been a lap full of action for your front runners, and Pajic is in the middle of all of it.
Oh, Nicodem's going to sweep around the outside here. There's contact between him and Marco Pajic. Marco not leaving the room, but by the time we come to the last couple of corners, it will be Nikodem Wisniewski up into P3, and you can bet your bottom dollar that as soon as Isaac Price is under pressure, he will be letting Nikodem go through to try and attack Moritz Lona. So Tim Yarshall, it was all plain sailing to start things off. He's currently in P6. He's got 12 points if he is to finish there. But ultimately, you know, in the second race, he would then only need to finish in the top 14. But Nikodem Wisniewski is making a fight of this. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, he is down the inside. Is Brzezinski in the other G2 Esports Porsche as Pajic, well, after that great qualifying, it looks like he's had a bit of a nightmare of a first lap and a quarter at this point as that Porsche dips back inside the slipstream of the BMW on the way down in towards the hairpin here, side by side between the G2 cars at the front as well. And it's exactly as you said, Luke, Wisniewski is being left behind by Isaac Price as Pajic still tries to hold position.
Look at Leon Rudinger. Rudinger now the next driver to try and get ahead of Tim Yarshall. Has got his nose ahead and actually has got his full car ahead then. So Yarshall backing out of that. Are we going to see the likes of Jacob Brzezinski potentially try and slow Yarshall down and back him into the pack a bit more? That might be a factor here. Although he's battling with Marco Pajic. If he was going to do that, he wouldn't probably given up that position as early as he possibly could. You got now Dominic Blyer, the Williams car, also trying to get involved. Tim Yarshall now retakes the top 6 from Leon Rudinger. Rudinger there nearly running off circuit. The BMW is going to try and hang it round the outside. Oh, Tim Yarshall's off! Tim Yarshall's into the gravel! Oh, big drama here, ladies and gentlemen, as Kevin Singer gets by. I think Jack Heathley's maybe going to get by here as well. Tim Yarshall now being in P12, only going to get 6 points, meaning he needs to finish in 10th in the second race. If Nikodem is to go out here and win at the Hockenheimring. But again, by my mathematics, if Nikodem finishes in second here, Tim would then only need to finish, he'd need to finish 8th position. So Tim, under a bit of pressure, has got involved in stuff that he shouldn't be getting involved in, and ultimately now is in P12. He's still got a massive lead in this championship, but Nikodem is making some fight for this.
Look, that was exactly what we feared. If Yarshall had any form of issues with other drivers over the course of this race, then that's one way he could lose this championship. And I'm not saying it's not quite that bad just yet, but you can see how these things can easily happen. If the repeat happens in race 2 now, it's completely done for as well. There's a bit of a situation further up the order in towards the hairpin there involving Pajic as we see Rudinger going side by side, having to drop back down in line, try and make this a little bit of an opportunity in towards turn number 8 at Mercedes, but not quite going to get things happening there. But yeah, Luke, this is critical now. Critical for Yarshall. He doesn't fall any further back, and you make sure that he has a clean race too, because otherwise Wisniewski's going to steal this from under his nose.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, as it stands, the gap between the two, and I'm doing live points myself here, so this could be massively wrong, guys. Okay, but my small brain, it's 31 points difference going into the next one. If it stays as it is 31 points. So I'll try and keep that updated as we go through the next couple of races. So, you know, might affect the commentary in touch. We're going to try and give you the full picture throughout the race day. You see in the background there, that looks like it was Marcel Shinchik behind Yuri Toman, just trying to get a bit of clear air. Moritz Lona, by the way, is just off into the distance here. 1.5 seconds is the advantage. Is there a world where that Porsche catches up? There's one driver that doesn't give I nearly swore there, doesn't care. That would be the first time ever I've actually sworn a real I didn't. Wasn't good. But he doesn't care. He has got no cares in the world, so you can imagine what I was about to say. On the championship, he doesn't care whether Nikodem Wisniewski wins it or Tim Yarshall wins it. I guess maybe a fellow German winning it would be nice for him, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't really have too many cares about that situation. So yeah, he will just go out there and try and get the best results he can. Tim Yarshall, by the way, might have just moved up a position, battling with Kevin Siggy. They went side by side through the hairpin, but I think Kevin was just about to get the car ahead. He's got the inside line. It's very minimal between the two of them. Tim Yarshall trying to keep that overlap as we come down towards the Mercedes Stadium section. A big dive down the inside, and Kevin holds on. Brilliant racing from both of them. And actually, if anything, this has now put him under a bit more pressure from Jack Keighley in at number 99, who coincidentally has the fastest lap of today's race.
Yeah, Siggy kept the performance under the car, kept the momentum around the outside and is able to get clear by the time they got off the corner to keep himself ahead of your current championship leader. But yeah, this is a sketchy, nervous situation now for Tim Yarshall. Of course, still has an okay buffer, but certainly not as significant as it otherwise would have been going into the second race if the order from the qualifying had been maintained. But yeah, this is he's got to maybe take a lap or two just to calm down a little bit and gain a little bit of a bigger perspective on things.
Yeah, to put into context, if we were to go to our second race and the exact same was to happen, we had one little mishap where he ended up at P12 and Nikodem was to win the race, he would only win the championship by 1 point. So this is how quickly it can change. He's going to go into the second race of today with still a massive healthy lead, but Wisniewski is doing everything he can to basically make it difficult. You see Jack Keighley there, he's grimacing. We head down towards the braking zone for the hairpin. Again, with that fastest lap of the race, seems like his race pace is very quick indeed, very close up under that rear wing of the Porsche in front of our championship leader. There's Moritz Lohner that leads away from 4th up to 1st position. I predicted he was going to do pretty well off the start, and he's done well, exceptionally well off the start, looking to finish off the season with a bang and a P1. And he's the one really that's not helping Nikodem. Nikodem being a P2, a 4-point loss effectively. He would be on 24 points if he won the race, but he's only going to get 20. So again, as it stands, I think the points are 68 points for Tim Yarshall in the lead of the championship. If it was to finish as it is, it's 237 points for Nikodem Wisniewski. So the gap is 31. In race 2, it is 40 points for a race win, 34 for P2, and for third, it is 13 points. That's how tight it is.
Yeah, incredible stuff as we see the Porsche of Yarshall in front of Keighley right there. Keighley's not quite been able to hang on to the back here and cause Yarshall any problems in terms of pressure, as you see Keighley actually extending the track limits through turn 1 quite a bit there. They do have to be pretty careful with that unless they draw the attention of the stewards.
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to go beyond that white line, but the Hockenheimring is very difficult not to do so. Very quick turn number 1. There is the gap between P1 and P2. It is a trio, by the way, of G2 Esports cars. You've got Nikodem Wisniewski, Isaac Price, and you've got Jakub Brzezinski. Those 3 cars, they would love to be the P1, P2, P3, but they've got Moritz Lohner that's stopping that from happening. In 5th position is Marco Pajic. He's managed to get a pole position today, but just did not get off the line very well. And he's been fighting ever since. Leon Rudinger is in P6. I think this might be Rudinger's season. Yes, he had a P8 last time out. He hadn't finished in the top 20 throughout the entire. Actually, sorry, he had a P16. He had not finished at, inside the top 20 the entirety of the season, apart from a P16 and then last week a P8 in the final race that we had. So Rudinger in P6 will be his best of the championship. So they've got Dominic Flyer in 7th, Lucas Muller in 8th position, and you've got Yuri Toman and Marcel Schinchik as your top 10. Then it's Kevin Siggy, then it's Tim Yarshall. And bad news here for Tim is that maybe the most difficult driver to overtake on the grid in front of him in Kevin Siggy. Kevin Siggy's not going to give you anything, he's not going to give you any kind of freebie in a month of Sundays.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I mean, I couldn't really put it better myself. Even though it's for quote unquote only P11, Siggy will make that Audi very, very wide indeed, and Yarshall will have a very tough time in trying to get his way through here. He's going to follow closely in towards turn 2 and then swinging it through 3 and 4 here as well. And potentially to try and set up a move down in towards the hairpin. That's what we are used to seeing in these situations, but we'll have to see if Tim is able to make this one work out. Is there any overspeed into the braking zone? No. The Audi giving itself a head.
K-Stepper, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. And again, if you are watching, let me know where you're watching from, or just say hello. I'll try and give you a shout out during this finale of the DTM Esports 2024. So see a potential move being made up the order here. This is Kevin Siggy on Marcel Shinshik. Marcel Shinshik gets all over the curbs there. I think Tim Yarshall's going to try and follow him through. I think Tim Yarshall, well, he's going to make him take off the track. He won't be able to keep hold of that. Even if he didn't make that move there, he would be giving it back. But Kevin Siggy taking full advantage of Marcel Shinshik making a slight error. He just cannot get that grip down on the curb. And Tim Yarshall trying to follow him through. All of a sudden, he's got Jack Keithley right up in behind him. More importantly for Kevin Siggy, and maybe even Nikodem Wisniewski, Enzo Benito, Team Redline driver, maybe going to try and get up ahead of Tim Yarshall, help his teammate out. It's Kevin Siggy, well, it's almost impossible to win the championship. He needs as many positions between him and Tim as possible.
Absolutely, and of course, you know, you still got the situation with P2 in the championship between Wisniewski and Siggy, which will significantly widen at the end of this race if the current results stand in about 5.5 minutes time. But either way, yeah, you still want to maybe relieve some pressure off of Siggy's shoulders here and try and get through some of these cars and try and get be there as support, you know, with the help in behind. But right now, that's not the reality that they have, and they're just having to settle for it as we have that one big old single file line in these battle packs. And you can just see how much Lono is stretching his legs at the front of the field. It's actually quite admirable.
Tim Yarshall has got involved somewhere here. Jack Keithley's now ahead of him. So is Jeffrey Greenberg, so is Enzo Benito.
Oh no.
So right now, Tim Yarshall's dropped down 3 positions in 1, and this is where the pressure comes in. You cannot afford, though, to get involved still. You cannot afford to gain any penalties. But Tim Yarshall, all of a sudden, for the first time in what is 11 races, is under some severe pressure. So he's had a little bit of an altercation there with Jack Keithley, and he's now dropped down into P15. So right now, he's only scoring 3 points. So he would be on 265, making this even tighter than it was before. So it's now 28 points between Nikodem and Tim Yarshall going into the final race. It's still a very, very tough task for Nikodem to go out there and win this championship, but it's becoming a possibility. I think that's realistically all we can say here. We didn't think it would be even being able to imagine an opportunity where Nikodem wins this today because of how well Tim's done so far this season, but it is now a possibility.
Wisniewski is just hoping that Lono wasn't so quick. I mean, he's got 4 seconds on the rest of the field here at the moment. That E1 would have been so helpful in this situation for the Polish driver, but it is not to be here at the moment. Although I'm seeing that gap come down quite significantly just for a moment there. Maybe it was just a little bit of an issue as they were going through the hairpin there. No, yeah, it's absolutely fine. It scared me there just for a second on the relative timings.
Yeah, so Moritz doing a very good job here for Tim Yarshall. So Yarshall just being shuffled down the pack. And do you know what I like about what Yarshall's done today? He hasn't tried to overly fight still, even though he must be panicking inside. He must be panicking all over the place, to be completely honest, and that's, you know, human nature.
Outbreaks
to say that. Oh, crikey. As I say that, of course, he then decides to outbrake himself slightly, and this is where you just don't want to overheat the tyres. Don't put yourself in a position where you lose even more positions. If he loses 2 more spots, or 3 more, sorry, he would actually be out of the point entirely, meaning that Nikodem would just close the gap by 20 points, making it only 27. So Tim just needs to not race on tilt now, just relax. Things aren't going particularly well, but you know, you've had 10 rounds where it has gone well. You've worked hard, you put yourself in a position to take advantage of it today. This is the day where you earn the championship, win the championship. You've earned the championship over the course of the previous 10 rounds. You can see he's starting to get a little bit stressed. You'd like to think that there's a team member in his ear just going, calm down. You've got a big points deficit. You're good. You're going to be fine, according to Nikodem Wisniewski and indeed Kevin Siggy. Nothing to be worried about right now. The big points race is also the second race, so it's not the end of the world what's happening in this race 1. But I tell you what, Connery, We needed drama as commentators, and we are absolutely getting it. This is fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe not too much fun for Yashil, but fun for pretty much everyone else, right? That's the situation, and a little bit of a fight for position further up the field. Pajic and Brzezinski having a little bit of a disagreement here as we're coming towards the end of this sprint race, and they're actually absolutely level as they head their way through turn 7, hitting the brakes now in towards turn 8 at Mercedes. Pajic down the inside on the G2 Esports Porsche, a little bit of a door barge as they head their way through there. Looks like Rudiger's going to try and get involved in this as well, but no, sticks keeps himself behind. But yeah, now there's some changes now in this what we call leading pack minus Lona.
Yeah, certainly are. Now you can see Leon Rudiger under pressure from Dominic Blyer. Blyer getting involved. Will be forced to take the outside line though through the Sachs curve, and I think that battle will be over before you know it. So there we go. Leon Rudiger gets back across, and job is a good one. So Brzezinski does fall behind Marco Pajic. Brzezinski still fighting for a top 5 in this championship. Ironically, his teammate Isaac Price is the driver that can take it away from him. The difference between those two in the championship coming into today was 122 points for Jake Brzezinski. Isaac Price is on 113. P5 is getting 14 points, and P3 is getting 18. So it goes down to 9 points. So Brzezinski will still have a 9-point advantage over his teammate for that top 5 in the championship. Yeah, the chances of getting into the top 4 is impossible. Top 4 will be Tim Yashil, Wisniewski, Siggy, and Rietveld, which is about what order that will be in.
Still waiting as 20 seconds left on the clock means this is the final lap that we'll get to run here in race number 1. They're going to all close up on the brakes in towards the hairpin. There's no hopeful lunges into there on the last lap. Maybe we'll see a look or there in towards turn number 8, but is anyone really close enough to be able to make that a possibility? I don't think so. So I think it's going to be a rather, well, tame last lap compared to the laps that we have had in this race.
No, 100%. It's been a frantic one. It has been worthy of a finale as we come through the stadium section for the very final time for our first race, our sprint race. We've got a feature race to come as well, which Moritz will be hoping to take the second victory as we round then the final few corners. It looks like the BMW is very, very good on its tyres, as well as being relatively quickly as well. Through the Sud curve then, well, he was a former champion of the DTM Esports, has raced in the DTM program over the last few years, and well, he is once again a DTM Esports winner, Moritz Lona, with, wow, he's trying to take the best tash in the sim racing business, but we know that belongs to Kevin Siggy. As we come around turn number 1, he does pick up that win. Congratulations to him, congratulations to Mouse as well on their victories. We see cars facing the wrong way, we've got burnouts going off. It's not the final race, ladies and gentlemen. The big story, though, is Nikodem Wisniewski is going to score 20 points, and Tim Yashil is only going to score 3, meaning when we head to the final round, the gap between them has come down. It is now only a 28-point gap, which is very significant indeed. That means that yeah, effectively Nikodem only needs to finish in the top 3 if Tim was to be a DNF, whereas it was a very slim chance indeed. Here is your official race standings then, or race results. Moritz Lona P1, Wisniewski P2, Isaac Price is in P3, Marco Pajic P4, Brzezinski in P5, Rudiger takes 6th position, his best finish of the season. We've got Dominic Blyer, who also, no, sorry, he's had a load of P6s actually. He finished in P7, Lucas Muller P8, Yuri Toman 9th, Kevin Siggy in 10th position. Marcel Shinchik finishes in 11th. Sorry, I was taking a drink there, Conor. Jack Keesley takes 12th, Enzo Benito 13th, Jeffrey Rewell 14th, Tim Yashil 15th. We've then got Ben Spanky in 16th, Yayovsky in 17th, Mitchell in 18th position, Delorme 19th, and then we've got Dreys in 20th spot. And then your final classified drivers, it's going to be Emery, Chihan, Carton, Feducci, Krippner, Hasser, Hugveld, Kunze, Vermeulen, and Ottaviani is a DNF. Connery. All we could ask for as commentators is that we take it to the final race. Nikodem Wisniewski has done exactly that. It's a big gap still. It's not 47 points big, though. It is now only 28 points by my maths. Again, could be completely wrong. Who knows? But I think it's pretty much bob on. Oh, This is what we wanted.
We'll get confirmation from race control in a little while because, of course, they have more detailed information. They know if people's got penalties and things like that. So we will have to wait and see in terms of that one because right now I'm having a look on the spreadsheet and apparently everyone has 12 points in in an interesting turn of events. But I'm sure that will be fixed. But yeah, that sets us up quite nicely for race number 2 as. Yeah, I mean, we were mentioning all the situations that could happen to Yarshall that meant he doesn't win this championship, and, well, it feels like one of them happens, and we just need to see what happens in race 2 to try and get our confirmation of what the situation is.
And the unlikely hero maybe for Tim Yarshall is Moritz Lohner, someone who he would have definitely looked up to and you know, for sure, been looking at his past championships and figuring out how he can win this one. By using something from Moritz, maybe learning something from Moritz along the way. But ultimately, Moritz picking up that win takes points away from Nicodem. So Nicodem could have been even closer. Could have been a 23-point deficit to Tim Yarshall. So even closer chance of maybe overturning that run. Right, we're going to be heading into our race number 2 very, very shortly. But let's check out a video package of what the drivers could win after today's race. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes to go until we head into qualification. It's a shorter qualifying, it's 8 minutes long, and then we head into a longer race, a 30-minute race with a pit stop window in the middle. 7.5 minutes it will open, and then with 7.5 minutes to go, it will close. If you have not pit, you will get a penalty. I think it actually just completely DNS you. And yeah, you have to change all 4 tyres. It comes down to this. I was 1 point out, so the gap is 29 points between Nicodem Wisniewski and Tim Yarshall. So what that means is, effectively, Tim Yarshall, if he was to DNF, which, of course, we're not wishing anybody on having some ill fortune or anything like that. But if he was to DNF, that means that Nicodem would need to be in the top 3 positions to be our champion. If Nicodem was to win today's race and get 40 points, then it would be needed a P11 for Tim Yarshall. So Nicodem, if he goes out and wins this race, then it will be Tim Yarshall just needing a 11th position or so 11th position is all he would need. If Nicodem was to finish in 2nd position, so he is on 34 points, we then will have a case where he would need to finish, I think, in 16th spot. So that's what needs to happen. Oh, cool. Well, let's have a look, though, at have a look at what we're going to be having today. So, of course, we've had the stream start, we've had Quali 1, we've had Race 1, we've had Quali 2, and we've had race number 2 happening very, very shortly. Let me know where you're watching from around the world. Let me know who you are cheering on. It does come down to this. I've done my maths, and I believe that right now, all Tim Yarshall needs to do is effectively just finish in the top 11. Finishing in the top 11, he is good to go. There's no way anyone could catch him, and the job is done. I think if you'd offered that to Tim Yarshall at the start of the season, he would have absolutely taken that. So, yeah, as much as it might be squeaky bum time for Mr. Yarshall, I think the job is good. And also, I've had a promise today that we're going to talk to Nicodem and we're going to talk to Tim, because I spoke to both of them today about an interview at the end of the broadcast. So we will be able to hear from both of them who've been fighting it out for the championship. Stats time. Everyone loves some stats then. Who's had the most race wins this season? Well, it's actually Nicodem Wisniewski. He's managed to get himself 4 race victories. In terms of top 3s, podiums, the most podiums is Tim Yarshall. He's had 8 podiums this season. In terms of top 5s, Tim Yarshall owns the top 5s as well. And the top 10s, it is Tim Yarshall. Wisniewski's got 10 top 10s. You've got 9 each for Kevin Siggy and Jeffrey Rietveld. In terms of pole positions, the pole position award, it is Tim Yarshall's. He's won it. He won himself an Asher steering wheel. So 6 pole positions for him. Nikodem Wisniewski has got himself 2. We had Jeffrey Rietveld get 1 earlier in the season, and Moritz Lohner. And today, Marco Pajic added himself to that list. Maybe we'll get 1 more driver add themselves to that qualifying list very, very shortly indeed. And as for the fastest lap award, we will get that information for you at the end of the broadcast as well. There's a prize for them as well. Here we are then. We're about to go into qualifying. Connery, any predictions here? Who do you think is going to get pole?
Well, that's a very good question. We had this the surprise of of Pajic getting a good qualifying and unfortunately kind of blundering the start. I think it could be another BMW. It could be Lohner this time around. Of course, the qualifying hasn't been ideal over the course of the season. At this track or even at tracks, at tracks previously. But I think he does have the pace to get it here. I don't think a Porsche is going to get pole. I'm just going to put that out.
Right, okay. So you don't think a Porsche is going to get pole? It looks like we've got an extra 10.5 minutes of practice here, unless I'm mistaken.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
I'll have to message Race Control about what's happening there, because
we might have a bit of fun here.
Yeah, because there we go. Oh, we were just late switching.
They were teasing us with not a good time. Now we're going to have a really good time. Here we go. So we have got ourselves a qualifying, qualifying session right now. Should we go on board then with the driver we are looking at right now? And actually, because I think Isaac disappeared near this part of the circuit, I can do the second half of our track guide for today. There we go. Out of the hairpin we come, up towards turn number 7. We're on board with Gianmarco Fiducci, and I tell you what, he is a good-looking bug of mine. Got to meet him a couple of times last year, Imola and the Lausitz-Ring. Well, actually 2 years ago, actually. So we head then through the Mercedes Stadium section on this quick lap. Of course, they start pretty much before the final corner in qualifying, meaning they can just start a fast lap straight away. They don't have to do an out lap. We now head into Mobile 1, which is turn number 11. Run the car out nice and wide here. Use the AstroTurf on the left-hand side of your screen. You've got to be very, very careful to put all 4 wheels over. It will invalidate your time. Sachs curve this time round. I like to call it Vettel corner for my own reasons. Now head through turn number 13, 14, now up towards 15, and then into the sub-curve turn number 16. I guess we can call this one Hamilton. We're going to even up the balance between Seb and over the start-finish line we will go, and Gianmarco Fiducci will be one of the first times, and it is P2, 9 thousandths of a second behind Lohner. Oh wow, we just got proof of look at he was on camera, I didn't even notice.
There we go. The thing is, if you didn't notice, is he really that good looking if you didn't notice?
I was too busy looking at the track, to be honest, being professional. Normally when there's sim racing chaps on the old screen, I'm not that professional. I'm just ogling a little. But yeah, here we are.
Here we go. Crypto across the line, although it gets shuffled, as it seems like everyone came across the line around that time, down in towards P8. So Lohner is pole position at the moment, so he was sort of my half prediction, wasn't he? I was umming and ahhing about his qualifying performance, but right now, provisional pole is pretty good. We've got Wisniewski currently on a bit of a lap, however.
Oh, okay, so this is quick. This is very quick indeed. This could be pole position. And Tim Yarshall's already put his first lap in, and he's only 10th spot. Remember, he needs to finish in 11th, and there's nothing Nikodem Wisniewski can do about it. Tim Yarshall will be your champion. But if Nikodem was to put himself in P1, and that would actually put Tim Yarshall down to 11th position, you imagine that. Nikodem starts P1, and Tim Yarshall starts actually in 11th spot. Oh my God, I'm not sure my heart can take it. Across the start-finish line we will go. And when he go pole position, I think it's going to be quite comfortable as well. It's 800, I say comfortable, it's 800 of a second. In DTM Esports, that is very comfortable.
Look at Lohner, he's on a lap though. Purple lap times being set here by Moritz Lohner. And he's the only one setting purple lap times, purple sector times at the moment. Although, just saying that, Müller gets a good sector 1 as well, currently in P4. But Lohner working his way towards the very back end of the lap here, still with about 4 minutes left in this qualifying session left to go. Use as much of the track limits as you dare, coming through the final 2 corners. And now it's just a straight shoot to the line from Moritz Lohner. Will he retake pole position back? Yes, he will.
Oh, he certainly does. Yeah, we go. So it's by a full 10th of a second as well. And that is impressive, impressive, impressive. Moritz Lohner, just looking at his DTM trophy stats, actually. He managed to get 28 race starts in his time within the DTM program. He got himself 4 podiums as well. So he got 4 P3s. He's actually, in terms of the most started races list, fifth. He is the 5th most started driver ever in DTM Trophy history. So, yeah, very impressive stuff there from him. Managing to get himself a fair chunk of points along the way. So, actually managed to get himself 151 classified points. That is Moritz Lohner in a nutshell. An absolute monster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As we see Cindric, 4th place, coming across the line to start another lap here. He's got plenty of time to get these ones in.
Oh, Tim, by the way, P14 for Tim Yarshall.
P16 now, as he gets cycled back. Oh, he's going to need a lap.
Fine, this is fine. This might be good enough for the front row, you know. Around the final corner, it's not going to be pole position or anything. I think Moritz has got that sewn up. As we come then through the Sachs curve, 2 minutes 54 seconds on the clock. So realistically, you've got 2 attempts, 1 real flyer. You can afford to make 1 mistake if he doesn't get a lap time in here. So around the final corner, it will not all be lost if he doesn't get this lap time in this time round. As we come around that final corner, as Tim Yarshall prove once again why he is the driver to beat. He does. It's P3 for Tim Yarshall, and that is exactly what he wanted. Moritz Lohner, I think, might be done here. He's in the pit. I think Moritz Lohner's decided, you know what? That's as fast as I'm going to go. Although, as I say that, he now reappears. So, yeah, I'm absolutely wrong once again. Tim Yarshall, just doing the job he needs to do. He can't afford to be shuffled down the pack like he did last time round. I think he would have learned from that. But yeah, Nikodem Wisniewski, again, just doing what he needs to do. Just be ahead of Tim, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's the plan of action. Although it does, you know, I mean, you just can't forget about the situation that happened in race 1, right? You know, trying, you know, the other drivers further back in the pack, you know, rattling your cage a little bit, you know, getting down your inside, forcing you wide. You know, these are all things that can still happen to Tim Yarshall. And I get the feeling Wisniewski has a lot more friends out there than Yarshall has, particularly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, in terms of teammates, I guess.
Yeah.
That'll be at the sharp end for sure.
So we've got Siggy starting behind Tim at the moment.
Yeah, Siggy's right behind Tim, so you know that that's going to be a ferocious battle. He knows he's got to finish ahead of Tim to have any kind of chance, and he'll make it as difficult as possible. As Paducci now puts himself between Nikodem Wisniewski and Tim Yarshall. Again, no panic stations. Yarshall just needs to finish in a top 11 to be our DTM Esports champion. Leonard Krippner, who for me was driver of the day last time round. That defensive job he did and got a 7-second gap for Tim Yarshall in race number 2 last week will be one of my favorite, I say favorite moments, one of my most impressive moments. I say favorite, I've got no favorites in this championship, of course, but one of the most impressive displays of teamwork I've ever seen in this championship. Something that I will remember for a very long time because, again, he got a 7-second gap. He had 4 cars behind him all trying to get ahead of him, and he just basically parked the bus. It was brilliantly done from him. People could be sore, they could be angry. Very similarly to what Enzo did. Enzo and Kevin boxing Tim into for Kevin to make an overtake. People could be salty, and they can send DMs to people all they like. It doesn't matter. It is all about teamwork, and I think we saw brilliant from Redline in race 1. I think we saw brilliance from Falcon Sim Racing Team in race number 2. Maybe we'll see a little bit more in this race.
It's on a lap here. Let's see what the sector 3 is like. Oh, there we go. Oh, 400s. 400 short of pole position. Wow.
Yeah, that is super impressive there from Wisniewski. You can't say he's not throwing everything at it today. That is for certain. But he's not only having to beat Tim Yarshall, I think he's got Moritz Lohner to basically be not mad at. He will be mad at him, but for sure not being overly happy that Moritz has decided to have an incredible week of racing or weekend of racing. So Nikodem will need to get up into the lead of this race and just hope Tim gets shuffled back and is involved in something out of his power. Nikodem can only go out there and do what he can do. Ultimately, if he doesn't win this championship, he's got to look back at the DNF in round number 2. He's got to look at round number 5 where he finished in P22. Those are the 2 rounds that have lost him this championship. 2 0-point finishes, where Tim Yarshall's worst result of the season is a top 9, which was last time out. But other than that, it was top 5 every single round. So impressive stuff. It comes down to this. So if you've just joined us, guys, Tim Yarshall, who starts P4, needs to finish in the top 11 here, and he will win the championship. And then we've got Nikodem Wisniewski, who needs to finish P1, and he has to hope that Tim Yarshall finishes outside the top 11 for him to become champion. If Nikodem Wisniewski was to finish in second position, he would get 34 points. That would mean that it would be a P16 needed for Tim Yarshall. So hopefully that is helpful for everybody watching at home, but it is down to the final race.
Yep, it absolutely is. That's the long and short of it. It's an incredible performance for pretty much everyone over the course of this race so far. And well, actually, hello. We can take a look at our lovely drivers out there, and maybe a sneak peek at the German stream as well. They have an actual studio.
Yeah.
Spared no expense on the German stream.
They don't like us. Fair enough.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah,
It is what it is.
It's you know, I mean, it's a German championship, isn't it? It's only right they get priority. But
I don't think it's right, but you know, it is what it is. That's fine.
Yeah,
no worries. Whatever. I think it's is it? Yeah, it is a real studio, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to that studio actually.
If you are watching right now and you're on the English stream, you know, don't feel like they don't love you as much as they love the German stream. We're all loved equally. Just maybe Connery and myself, not so much. Right, so as you can see there, all of the drivers are in their little Zoom call, which is always good. We've got a formation lap again with Cupra, the safety car, the official safety car of DTM. Nice to have it in RaceRoom, first time ever as well. And Moritz Lohner will take us off from pole position. Nikodem Wisniewski in second spot. All Nikodem can do is go out there and try and win this race. Whatever happens, happens. If Yarshall falls down the order, then he can win the championship. But right now, it's out of his hands. It is all in Tim Yarshall's hands. Tim starts in P4. He's in that turquoise and blue Falcon Sim Racing liveried Porsche, number 44. It is finish in that top 11, and you will be our champion. It is as simple as that.
Yeah, that is the case. You know, there's nothing really else to factor in there unless you get yourself into trouble and you know you cause an incident with someone and the stewards will have to penalise you. But we don't want championships decided in the stewards room. I don't think anyone would love to do that. It's a whole pain. We want to see who's won and see it now. That's the ideal situation instead of any drama behind the scenes. But as these guys, you know, set up behind that Cupra safety car, moving through the hairpin now. Moritz Lohner, what a performance it's been from him today. You know, it's he's had a bit of a lackluster season. Of course, you know, a lot of that would be down to the balance performance. You know, the BMW hasn't been the strongest car at the vast majority of the tracks this season, but imagine if every track was a BMW track like the Hockenheimring. You might be talking about a multiple-time title for Moritz Lohner, but not the case.
No, 100%. You know, he started the championship really, really well. Managed to qualify at the first time of asking in the qualifying rounds with a P1 straight off the bat. And then in rounds 1 and 2, he got himself third and second. So he was actually second in the championship, heading into races number 3 and indeed 4. So crazy stuff. Playcon, no, Liano did not get through the qualifying phase for this, I'm afraid, mate. We've got someone else asking, Max sitting out quali. Max isn't in this championship. He's racing in Formula
Yes.
Right, here we go then. Final race of the season. We've had 11 races so far this season. We have had ourselves 4 different race winners. Are we about to see our 5th, or are we about to see Nikodem Wisniewski go out there, beat Moritz Lohner, and then hope Tim Yarshall falls out? Remember, Nikodem needs to win this race. Tim Yarshall, all he needs to do is finish in the top 11 and he wins this championship. So Nikodem just has to go out there and win it and hope that Tim falls down the order. It is our final race of the season. It is round 6. It's race 12 of the DTM Esports Pro Series 2024. And we are off and running down towards turn number 1. And Moritz, just like race number 1, has got an absolute flyer of a start as we see Tim Yarshall going out nice and wide there to try and make an overtake, trying to hold on to what would be a P4. He's under some severe pressure from that number 46 on the inside, Finucci, as we see Tim Yarshall nearly gets collected by, it looks like the R8G car. He's all good, he's all good. He's still in that P4, he just doesn't need to get involved in anything. Nikodem Wisniewski, I think, has to make the move now. If he doesn't make the move now, Moritz will be able to drive away, and I tell you what, he's got that slipstream. He's going to be forced to go round the outside, down towards the hairpin. We get a lovely camera angle here at the Hockenheimring. Can Nikodem keep that overlap on the exit? The Porsche will have a good exit speed. Will have a very good exit speed. The BMW, although not quite quick in terms of accelerating, keeps that inside line, and ultimately keeps the lead of this race. Can Nikodem find a gap up the inside? He will have to send it. It's the championship on the line, and he has sent it. He is side by side, and he has taken the lead here. Tim Yarshall is into P3, momentarily now back down to P4, but Nikodem Wisniewski keeping his side of the bargain. He's in the lead.
And here comes Kevin Siggy on Tim Yarshall, trying to send it down the inside here as well. Yarshall might be in big trouble if this doesn't go his way. There's a little bit of disagreement there, now in towards the Sachs curve. And now Chinchik's trying to get himself involved as well. He's got to the inside of the red line. Audi coming out of that backed corner gives Yarshall just that little bit of respite.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Marcel Chinchik there, Kevin Siggy would have put some severe pressure onto Yarshall. Yarshall learning from his mistakes though, looking after the inside line of the Sachs curve. Last time out, he left the door open and ultimately got sent off into the gravel, dropped down into, in the end, 15th position. It was 12th, but then had made another mistake down towards the hairpin, and that is what has made this championship very interesting into the final race. But look who's in the lead there, Nikodem Wisniewski, who would currently get himself 40 points. He moves on to 277 by my mathematics, and it will be 27 points for Tim Yarshall. So that will be 303 points. So right now the gap is 26 points.
Yep, that's not enough. As we see a big stack up in towards the hairpin there. That concertina effect really in full effect on the way through that hairpin. Everyone really strung out single file though in this situation. Remember, we do have a mandatory pit stop, so there is going to be at least a little bit of strategy that factors into this one. When do you come in and pit here? Do you feel like you're in a bit of traffic? That might be beneficial for you to take it a little bit earlier. Make sure you get into clear air, or if you want to try and stretch the distance a little bit, maybe take it just that little bit later to then have a bit of a hard charge through the fields. Of course, it's going to get to the drivers to try and figure out which strategy is better. I mean, we've seen typically in rounds previous them come down in pretty much at the first opportunity. We'll have to wait and see if things change here at the Hockenheimring.
Yeah, 100%. I think that might be the case once again. Although there are some overtaking opportunities here. The reason why we saw it so prevalently in the Saxon rings is that. I was wrong. Maths is wrong. It's 293 points for Tim Yarshall. I've just reworked it out. So the gap between them as it stands is 16 points. So only 16 points between the two of them.
Sure. Because I have the points from race control over there.
Right, well, there was 29 points between them going into this round, and right now, they're scoring 13 more points. That would mean 29, 13, 16, 13 points off 29, 16.
Actually, yeah, I think I think you're the one that's right. I was just looking at the ones from the previous race.
Okay, cool. Well,
never doubt. That's my lesson.
Not just a pretty face, guys. Not just a pretty face.
Yeah, because they were 29 points away from each other coming into this race, right?
Yep.
Your maths.
And right now, there's 40 points being scored for P1, 27 for P4.
Yeah.
Right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the race. We'll have argument 2 in about 3 or 4 minutes' time. Pit window is going to open in 20 seconds' time, meaning that they will all actually, they will go past the pit entry really, really soon. I think Tim Yarshall, by the way, comes in straight away, just to have clear air and not have to worry about anyone else. I think he makes that decision to just come in. And then he doesn't have to worry about anyone trying to send him up the inside or anything like that. He's got that opportunity himself by working hard, and he decided to go. Okay. So
pit window just opened as they passed the pit entry there.
Yeah,
which
it would have been fine though because it's where the cones are. That
yeah.
It's not actually the coming. There's no beam until they get to the cones where the pit limiter is. But yeah, Tim Yarshall, I think he's given himself the opportunity by all of the hard work he's done so far this season to be able to do those kind of strategies where he kind of feels his chance of winning a race. He doesn't need to win the race. He can just get himself clear air. It's kind of 10 minutes rest play where he's just like, oh, just chill, have a bit of fun. Because ultimately this is what we all do it for, to start off with, fun. But right now, he's doing a good enough job. He's 7 positions ahead of where he needs to be. And yeah, he will be your champion for the season.
The thing is, how much is he reliant on the BMWs ahead giving him slipstream, though? Because that's the question. We know the Porsche is not quite the quickest here today. Well, obviously, the evidence to the contrary, of course, but But, you know, the switching from those BMWs is going to be a big help. And if Yarshall is struggling for pace here at the Hockenheimring, as we have seen at some parts of today, then, you know, that might be the thing that's saving him from the clutches of Siggy here at the moment. So maybe he doesn't want to pit if the BMWs in front of him don't pit.
That's a really good idea, a really good point actually. And also, the longer he stays with this group and they're travelling at the speed they're travelling at, the pack behind are breaking up a bit more, so there's bigger gaps forming. That's meaning if there is a mistake, it's less likely chance that he's going to drop out of the top positions he needs to be in. Although if you face the wrong way, you can end up outside regardless. That's how close this field is. He is coming in. Him and Morris decided to come in, so he's got a bit lucky there. Really, he's got a car to go with. And Kevin Siggy's also decided to bring the car in as well. He's decided to come in with drivers that he feels like he trusts, I guess. But Nikodem Wisniewski and Gianmarco Fiducci are now the front two. Fiducci, it'd be interesting here whether he can maybe close up to the back of that Porsche and ultimately occupy the space that Moritz left. And then we'll see how fast Moritz is in terms of being able to take that position away again. Maybe the fresher tyres are really, really fast, and it's well worth maybe a half a second or so. And if it is a lot faster, Connery, we're about to find out, because these two will absolutely be coming in then.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I mean, here at Hockenheimring, it's that middle to late sector that is really the tyre dependent one. With a lot of low and medium speed corners. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting for these guys. Nikodem Wisniewski, of course, maintaining this race lead, doing all that he needs to do. If he doesn't end up getting a championship.
Siggy's got Yarshall.
Whoa.
Yeah, he has. Oh, he's managed to get him in the pits there. So that's that's interesting. So that's one position down. He's going to be net P5. Morris, by the way, is an unbelievable stop. He's managed to gain, I think, a second on this too here. Sorry to butt in there, Connor. I just noticed that on the timing tower. I thought it might be of interest.
Yeah, well, I'm very interested in it. As again, there's no movement to the inside there for Yarshall in towards the hairpin. And see if he gets a good drive off to try and make a challenge in towards turn 8, maybe. But looks like Siggy is very comfortable in that Audi for the moment after pulling off that trick in the pit stop that we unfortunately missed. I didn't think anything was really going to happen in the pit stop phase between those two guys, but it proved me wrong.
They've come in. The front two did come in. Nikodem Wisniewski and Gianmarco Fiducci. So we need to be getting on board here with Moritz Lohner. So Moritz Lohner is the car that we need to be seeing. And then ultimately we'll be able to see a nice little merge between them all. Did Moritz, hitting one lap earlier, gain enough of an advantage to overtake Nikodem Wisniewski, who started behind, managed to get into the lead of this race early on in the first lap, then came in a lap later for Moritz Lohner. So Moritz came to pit from second position. Are the cars coming out as of yet? We're about to see the merge now. Here we go, round turn number 1. There we go, there's Nikodem Wisniewski. Will not be up to full speed, remember. Turn 1 is very quick, and Moritz Lohner, an absolute canter, is going to get into the lead of this race. He does. So there we go. That's the difference. The undercut worked. By the looks of things, Tim Yarshall's stop was not good at all.
Yeah, not good, not good at all. And you can see Yarshall on the back of this train here as well. So yeah, not an ideal situation at all. Nikodem Wisniewski needs to go out and win this race, but with a mistake like that, he's not in a position to be able to do so at the moment. Of course, he's passed Moritz Lohner once already in this race. He'll have to do it again. Yeah, he has to do it again. It's as simple as that. And then hope that Tim Yarshall falls into 12th position in some form or fashion. Do you know what? I think Tim being behind Kevin Siggy is actually more beneficial than him being ahead of him. I know that sounds crazy, but I just think him having to worry about there was a gap between those two, and a gap behind those two, should I say, before the pit stop phase. So I don't think he's got any cars to be worried about in terms of pushing them. And he hasn't got the worry of Kevin sending it at any point in this race. So he can just literally stay behind Kevin, not make a mistake, pick up the championship. So yeah, I think being in P5 right now is much more beneficial than being in P4 for Tim Yarshall. Could be the situation. 17 minutes of this thing to go. Not only of this race, but of the entire season as well. We've got a good couple of cars getting to come down on towards the pit lane. So we see Chinchik in at the moment, see where he comes out in relation to all of these drivers. Drops down off the jacks. Here we go as he trundles his way down pit lane. We're still waiting for pit stops from Price, from Rudinger, from Xian, from Banki, from Blyer, from Bringer, from Hochfeld, from Hasse. But where does Chinchik come out in relation to these guys? It looks like it'd be right at the tail end of the pack.
Yeah, he's right behind him. He will have fresher tyres on his car of 2 or 1 lap, depending on who he is behind. But Marcel Chinchik then comes out in 14th position. But we think it's a net single spot as it stands. So right now, the net leads Moritz Lohner, Wisniewski in 2nd, Paducci is in 3rd, Kevin Siggy in 4th, Tim Yarshall in 5th, and then Marcel Chinchik is in 6th. But the actual leader of this race is Isaac Price, who's yet to pit stop. Rudinger right in behind him, Sheehan, Bent Banky, Blyer, Peringa, Hugfeld, and Florian Hasser. So they're the only 8 cars that have yet to pit. And I'll be very surprised if it isn't decided that they're going to come in this time round.
Well, Price decides to come in now, so does Rudiger. A bit of a late decision for him, but there we go. Driving his way down towards the pit lane, getting it stopped for that, or rather getting it slowed down for the pit lane speed limit. And in for the service they will come. Does anyone else in behind come down in? No, Emre Chian decides that he wants at least a lead lap here.
No, that's it's always good to have a lead lap, isn't it, under your belt of a major esports championship. Him, Bent Banky, and Dominic Blyer all battling out for that that honour. I wonder if we might see a potential dive bomb here just to get themselves into the lead. Although Bent Banky has led many a race over his time in sim racing. Similarly, Dominic Blyer, and actually same for Emre Chihan, so I'm not sure it's the biggest accolade in the world for them. But it's nice to see these cars in the front, although we are going to see a battle. As we come down towards the hairpin, Bent Banky has decided, you know what, yeah, I fancy getting my BMW in front, the inside line. We know the Porsche is going to be quick in terms of the exit speed of the tyres, maybe not responding as well as he would like. BMW now into the lead of Bent Banky.
Yeah, well, technically the battle for the lead, not really the battle for the lead, as we're still waiting for these guys to come down in for their pit stops. It's great to see the fighting out there on the circuit. We've just had Chinchik obviously come down on towards the pit lane and get his service, same with Price as well. And as well, Chinchik is on the back of Yarshall here, and actually a little bit of a move being made ahead. That was Paducci trying to get into Wisniewski's personal space.
Yeah, luckily he left something in the tank there in terms of braking, because if he was on the absolute limit and at any point during that braking zone, he would have been in trouble. He would have taken the side out of that Porsche in front. But luckily he had a little bit into hand and he was good to go. Under pressure, by the way, Tim Yarshall is now under pressure from Marcel Chinchik. So I was saying that it was beneficial to be behind Kevin Siggy. As it stands, it might not be, although you see that Nikodem Wisniewski's not really in the hunt to win this race either. He is falling behind. Moritz Lohner, give him a bit of clear track. It doesn't matter what game it is, doesn't matter what car he's in, he will drive away. It is as simple as that. And he is doing just that after it's 13 minutes 40 seconds to go. Moritz Lohner is your net leader. Dominic Blyer has brought the car down the pit lane as well. Interesting to see where he fills in. Bent Banky and Emre Chihan, who Emre Chihan actually has the last lap of this race. They are now the leaders, but again, they haven't come down the lane.
They do. They're just pushing out that stint as long as they can. As long as they can. I wouldn't be surprised if they just try to run the fuel tank dry and commit to this longer-term strategy, so then they can try and blitz their way through in the back end of the race. But yeah, for the moment, you know, for the positions that matter in behind, Moritz Lohner continuing to stretch his legs. He's got, let's see, he's got about 2 seconds on Nikodem Wisniewski here at the moment, and well, it seems like that gap is going to extend as we see Wisniewski having to go ultra defensive here, because Paducci has been giving him a massive issue over the last couple of laps.
Yeah, he went ultra defensive like one of the worst type of FIFA players ever. I used to hate playing ultra defensive. But ultimately, this is sim racing. He needs to do it. Although he's left that door open, he closed the door a little bit too late there and has to back out of it. And well, as you can see, Paducci looking to try and get himself a net P2. And look who's circling. The shark that he is. Kevin Siggy, the predator that he is. Paducci can't get it done. And ultimately, Kevin says, well, thank you very much. I'll have a little go at the podium. And by the time they come out through Mobile 1, well, I thought he might have it done. He doesn't. He absolutely doesn't. Paducci does fight valiantly, does hold on. Lovely job from these guys. Wisniewski, by the way, looking at these two thinking, oh, thank God for that. That was a bit stressful. I can now maybe look to go forward. It's a fair gap, by the way, to Moritz Lohner. But the pressure that Paducci was putting on there, that would not have been fun.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been. I was getting scared for Wisniewski in a sense there on that particular lap, because it did seem like Paducci was really trying to get at him. But you know, that's the opposite happens sometimes. He goes straight from offense to defense. And now there's a red line Audi in your wing mirrors, and that's not usually a very comfortable situation to be in. But you can see further back in the field, there's that little bit of a mistake there from our wonderful championship leader. I think it might have been. So he's going to be under threat from Chinchik down into the hairpin.
Yeah, he's just got to defend that inside line. Force Chinchik to make the move. Don't give him a freebie. Don't give him an opportunity to fake. There's a bit of contact coming down towards the braking zone. Chinchik, the outside line again. Yarshul should be golden here, although the over and under being perfected here by Marcel Chinchik. He will have the inside line as we come through turn number 7 down towards that Mercedes Stadium section. Once again on lap number 11, Tim Yarshul has that inside line, but he just doesn't need to be getting involved in stuff like this. Just don't put yourself in a position where you could potentially be taken out. That is the only thing that is going to stop Tim Yarshul being our champion right now. Although, is there any potential for Ben Blanky? Is there a potential for Emmerich Chihan to maybe filter in ahead of these guys? No, they haven't lost enough time, that's for certain. So right now, if you're Tim Yarshul, this is where you've got to just keep your head level. We should have someone in his ear giving him a reassurance. That's another thing that should be a factor for him, and realise that you've done the hard work. Again, I reiterate, you've done the hard work. 11 rounds done. One mistake happened in round number 11, but the previous 10 rounds is what would have won you this championship if you do indeed get your hands on that trophy. It's now all about making sure that that doesn't go to waste. All that hard work that you've done already is not to go to waste.
I'll keep it cool now for the last 10 minutes. That's basically it. Doesn't matter what goes on behind. In fact, you can let a few of these cars through and still be okay, especially given that Suzuki is not occupying the next race lead here at the moment. So, yeah, you can afford to lose a couple of spots and not be too concerned. It would have to require something more catastrophic to change things here, as you'll have to go defensive anyway on the way in towards the hairpin. Chinchik having to try and square off the corner here a little bit, trying to get the traction down, and so in quite comfortable fashion actually. So there may be an opening for that Porsche in behind to have a look in towards turn 8. No, it's not going to happen.
Also, I like the fact that these two Porsches specifically have definitely still got the lights left over from Tim Heinemann's Porsche 2023 DTM pack with the pink lights. Just look behind, and who's behind them? Isaac Price. He's not. I think that's one of the other Porsches, but these two definitely still got the leftover lights from the Sims DTM car.
Yeah, I actually hadn't noticed that before.
Nice
that's a good spot. Of course, I imagine like the base of the car is based on one of the ones in the car pack, right? And they've just put the livery on top. So yeah, that's an interesting one.
Nice spot from me there. Sorry, RaceRoom. I apologise.
You ruined the illusion.
Ruined the illusion for everybody. Yeah, I noticed it. To be fair, it's pretty difficult not to notice a pink headlight. The only car ever to have pink headlights in the history of ever racing. Right, down in towards turn number 2 we go. Isaac Price could maybe be a factor for his teammate, for Nikola Wisniewski. If he can get ahead of Tim Yarshul, maybe slow him down. Look at the gap behind him. Nothing really to work with for the G2 guys here. I think they'll just let it play out as it should do. Tim Yarshul is in a great spot. It's Marcel Chinchik looking to try and take advantage. I've seen this in a few championships. He has done his fourth mistake. Basically, what you're trying to do here is if you've got no chance at a championship and you've got someone who's pretty much like, bob on to win the championship in front of you, if you send it on them, they're more than likely just going to get out of the way. Yeah. And that's what Marcel was trying to do there. It nearly worked, actually. And I'm actually surprised that's not happened more often. Although saying that, he got shunted off into the gravel. That has happened big time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you find out on the last day of a series that people will try and take advantage of someone fighting for a championship because they don't want to end up losing the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, that is the case. And like you mentioned, it's already happened over the course of this race. Well, not this race, but the previous race. So Yarshul knows what it's like to be potentially bullied here at this point on the circuit. It's it's a tough thing sometimes to try and maintain these championship leads. And of course, Chinchik doesn't really care that Yarshul is fighting for a championship at the moment. He was looking inside, outside, and multiple of these corners, and again looking to try and score a top 5 here, which would be fantastic going for the Hungarian driver. but we will. Hang on, is he Hungarian or Bulgarian? I can't even remember.
Who?
Chinchik.
Hungarian.
Those flags are very similar, so please forgive me.
Yeah, no, he's Hungarian. Yeah, I think the CS is very Hungarian. Isn't it? You know, like, there's another guy called Sindu who races as well from Hungary. Like, very Hungarian. Well, here we go. That's what's the hairpin. Potential move being made. Isaac Price trying to take advantage. We're trying to figure out the nationality of drivers, by their name, which is a very dangerous thing to do, to be honest. As we come then through turn number 7, and now again down in towards the Mercedes Stadium section again. Yeah, Isaac Price maybe just thinking that if I get ahead of these two cars in front, I can maybe affect the championship a little bit. As it stands, the gap 29. So Nikodem not really holding his side of the bargain by going out and winning. So yeah, he's going to finish on 271 points as it stands. Tim Yarshall looks like he's your champion-elect, all but champion right now. 290 points, 29 points for the difference. I'll tell you what, at the halfway point of this series, I didn't think it would be anywhere near as close as that coming to the end of this. So yeah, credit to Nikodem, credit where credit's due. He's absolutely fought for this, giving it everything. But ultimately, it might just be a little bit in vain.
I think so too. It's a big shame, but ending anything catastrophic, you know, we have the result sort of half set in stone here. Is so very wide goes
off on the old layout.
Yeah,
down the back,
and now
back.
under threat from the G2 Porsche in behind as well, but not going to have an opportunity this time around. I did double check, by the way, the Bulgarian flag and the Hungarian flag do have the exact same colours in horizontal stripes, however they're in a different order. so yeah, forgive my confusion.
Yeah, no worries, it's fine. Got a geography lesson, Connery. Good. Talking of
oh no!
Wisniewski! Oh, Wisniewski. He is facing the wrong way. Is there contact there? I didn't see exactly what happened there. It caught me off guard a little bit, but this all but seals the championship for Tim Yarshall. And you can see he's now fighting with Leon Rudiger. He'll probably dive this. Leon Rudiger isn't going to make the corner. Sure, he's off into the stadium section now. All the Mercedes fans not going to be happy with BMW being in there with their seats. But ultimately, that is it for. Oh, Marcel Chinchik has let him go. So Marcel Chinchik was battling with. Hold on, no, what's going on here? Was it?
No, it was Fiducci that was fighting with Wisniewski.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's happened to Marcel Chinchik then? Why has he dropped down?
That must have been some form of slowdown penalty, maybe. Like, or at least felt like he had to redress something.
Well, all of a sudden, Tim Yarshall's now been given a podium spot. So not only is he going to win this championship, but it's going to be by quite a considerable margin. So yeah, he's in a good spot right now. Nikodem Wisniewski currently in 5th position. Let me do some maths, Connery. I'll let you take over while I just figure out exactly the gap.
Yeah, well, if there wasn't a billion nails in Wisniewski's championship chances, that will be the final one. But it's just a big shame. Of course, you know, still top 5 in the race. You know, is nothing to sniff at, and of course, you know, P2 in the championship order as well is quite good considering the situation. But you know, given that race 1, you know, there was a glimmer of hope, but that has all been snuffed out now as we see 3 wide and amongst these guys coming down in towards the hairpin. It's Ducci, it's Chinchik, it's Rudiger, all involved in this one. Just having a little bit of fun at the end here as we also see Brzezinski getting his hands stuck into this as well.
Yeah, Brzezinski trying to get ahead of Gianmarco Fiducci. I've just done a little bit of mathematics, and it's 39 points now. The difference, Tim Yarshall just hit the big 300 in terms of points. He's on exactly 300. He's finished in P3, and Nikodem Wisniewski will finish on 261 points. So it was very unlikely that we were going to come to today and see anyone overturn the deficit of what Tim Yarshall has built up during the season. That has proven to be a fact with 2 minutes to go, 2 laps to go of the season, unless something ridiculous happens now. I think even P5 isn't enough for Nikodem, actually. So yeah, it's now time to start singing the praises of the man in P3. Tim Yarshall is 2 laps away from being crowned your champion. 6.4 seconds the difference between him and the leader. He's not going to be worried about that in the slightest. At number 44, Falcon Sim Racing Team, as we see potential move being made there by Jakub Brzezinski. Finucci is going to just about hang on by the time they come through turn number 3, down through Parabolica. I think you'll see the Porsche have another little nibble. Can Finucci hang on? He will have to go to the inside. I think Porsche, with the overspeed and the slipstream, tends to get really quick around this part of that straight as we come down towards the braking zone. Finucci does hang on to that inside, sweep that to the left though, to open up the hairpin. Ultimately hangs on, misses the apex actually, and slows down Jakub Brzezinski. So 1.5 laps to go, Connery. Looking good for Tim Yarshall.
Looking very, very good indeed. As he's on to take this championship. It's been a bit of drama as we see Russell Chinchik ignoring slowed down warnings. That's the first race control message I've actually seen in this entire season. But ignoring the slowdown, and he's
what happened? Is he gone?
Oh, he's down P9 now.
Right, okay, but he didn't say what he had to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like we could get some out there. Tim Yarshall just took a drink from the drink bottle. I don't know. That doesn't make it's not a lot of relevance there for me, I'm afraid. Round the final corner we go to start the final lap of the race. And well, it would not be more appropriate than to go on board with Tim Yarshall for a final lap of the Hockenheimring. Through turn number 1, we will come the Nord curve for the number 44. All of the hard work done in the previous 10 rounds. Managed to get second in round 1, in race 1. Got a P1 in race 2. In race number 3, he was 4th position. In race 4, he was 2nd. In race 5, he managed to top 5 in 5th. Race 6, he managed to get 3rd. Race 7, he got 1st. 2nd for race number 8. The first time he was outside the top 5 was race number 9. He got 9th position. But he backed that up with a P1 in race number 10. It was P15 in race number 11. He's currently in P3 for race number 12. He's a little bit more calm, he's a little bit more composed this time round. You can tell when he was stressed when it came to race number 1 today, because he was shuffled down a pack and he did play into the hands of Nikodem Wisniewski. Wisniewski, who has been, well, for sure, a great partner to race against, a great championship rival to race against, maybe not quite good enough. Down to the Mobile curve for the very final time, and it is now into the stadium section for the very final time, in towards the Sachs curve. How quickly are we going to see that smile appear on that young man's face? He's been around for a long time on the RaceRoom scene without yet really putting a dent into any championships. Never really flirted with a championship, but we come around the final corner, and Tim Yarshall, ladies and gentlemen, will be your DTM Esports 2024 champion. All the hard work was done early in the season. He was put under some severe pressure going into today, but boy, does pressure create diamonds. Tim Yarshall is that diamond, and he is your champion. Congratulations to him. You can see it means the absolute world to him. He's smiling there from ear to ear. Oh boy, has he dealt with pressure well today.
An incredible performance, just slaps his wheel. Oh, that's gotta feel so, so good, especially given it wasn't, 100% certain at some points over the course of these 2 races today. It looked in doubt just for a moment as he dropped all his positions in race 1. And but the thing is, he got his qualifying performance done. He got the race 2 podium as well, and looking as happy as a Cheshire cat.
Yeah, certainly. He's off there to
onto his phone immediately.
yeah, to update some sort of status somewhere or text someone. I don't know, probably text his dad or something like that. But ultimately, massively. Sorry, I'm just looking at the monitor there. Massively deserved there from Tim Yarshall. And like I said, Connery, it wasn't really about today. The hard work was done in the previous 10 rounds. We're going to get the official results then. Moritz Lohner with a double race win. We need to have a little chat about Moritz. What a great performance it was today. Again, if he managed to get some better results, or maybe the car was up to scratch for the season, we would maybe be talking about a 2-time champion in Moritz Lohner, but it's not to be the case. Kevin Siggy, quite appropriately, our last 2 champions are P1 and P2 in this final race of the season, and then the new champion is P3. So our last 3 champions are the top 3 in the championship. So yeah, quite a nice little end to the proceedings there. Isaac Price then is in P4. Nikodem Wisniewski gave everything And we need to give some appreciation to Nicodem, because apart from 2 really odd results, he has been absolutely exceptional this season, so deserves a lot of credit. And also, during the midst of the season, changed teams. So yeah, just before the season started, was getting used to a whole new team environment. So fair play to him. Gianmarco Fiducci finishes in P6, gave us some fireworks there. Could have been a podium today, but unfortunately had a little bit of an altercation. Brzezinski finishes P7, Rudinger in P8, Keithley in P9, and Yuri Toman rounds out your top 10. Ben Spanky then finishes in 11th spot. Jeffrey Rietveld in 12th. Sheehan and Muller are your 7th row, if you like, 13th and 14th. Marco Pajic, Carton, and Mitchell finish off a quad of German drivers. And then got Yayovsky in 18th, 19th for Krippner, Poringer in 20th position. And then you got the rest of the drivers there. You've got Blyer, Dreys, Delorme, Ottaviani, Hasser, Kunze, Hugvelt, Shinchik, and Vermeulen. That is your drivers there, Connery. Pretty impressive stuff, to be completely honest. We've got the graphic up there now. DTM Esports champion Tim Yarshall, very much deserved. Then you've got Nicodem Wisniewski, who finished in P2, and then Kevin Siggy, who managed to finish in P3. It's definitely an old picture of Tim, by the way. We saw him with long hair a minute ago. But like I was saying, Connery, and just keep that graphic on screen for the rest of the broadcast, if you may. Don't worry about our faces. Those 3 deserve to have their praise. It was done in the first 10 rounds this season. Today wasn't great. And actually, we've got Nicodem. Let's just pop him in straight away. So we've got our vice champion of the championship, Nicodem. First of all, congratulations. I know you're not going to be feeling maybe the greatest today. But ultimately, you gave us a fight, which I'm super, super happy to have seen. I didn't think it was going to be as close as it was coming towards today, and you've done a sensational job. So first of all, congratulations, and maybe shed some light on how you're feeling about the whole process of the season.
Yeah, thank you. To be honest, after what happened the rounds before, with my bad luck, with everything, connection issue, then safety car taking my spot that I couldn't join qualifying. So bit of everything, bit of bad luck, but then I showed good pace, I think, and everything that I was preparing for works out in the quali. So I'm very happy about that. Even now at Hockey, in the second quali, I did my PB. So like it never happened in my. I mean, maybe someday it happened 5 years ago that I did my PB in quali, but yeah, super happy about my performance, and I think Team deserved the championship. He was very, very consistent. I think I was just equal on pace with him, but I mean, some kind of bad luck and it didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, before the round, I wasn't expecting to fight for the victory. After race 1, I saw that he's a bit further back, like P15 or something. So the pressure was on him, but he handled the pressure really well in the main race, and he was able to secure a good place to get the championship. And yeah, as I said, like I'm happy to be the runner up. Of course, second is the first loser, but I mean, in general, I feel that it was a good season, and looking forward for the next big competition that we are preparing for. So yeah, I mean, in general, happy, but of course, can be better.
Yes, of course. It's there was a glimmer of hope in that race, wasn't there? After that race 1, Tim falling down the order a little bit, and giving you a couple more points to your name. But did you feel very slightly hopeful after that race 1, or did you think, yeah, Tim still has this one?
Yeah. I mean, after race 1, the pressure was on Tim, right? I mean, it was 20-something points. So if I'll be just in the front, he would need like P12, something like that. So I mean, it's not that hard to be P12, right? In that grid, I mean, one slightly mistaken quality and you start outside of the top 10. But yeah, to win the race today was almost impossible. I mean, you saw the pace of BMWs. That was crazy. How much power they had, but I mean, I was trying to battle with them at the beginning with Moritz. I think we have a good fight, but after, to be honest, I was a bit shocked because I covered him a lot later, when he pitted, and he just passed me. So like his in lap and out lap had to be crazy. So yeah, I mean, well deserved the victory. You need to use this BOP to your favor. I mean, he was the only BMW in top 5, right? So I mean, it's not like the car was driving automatically.
Well, I've only got one more thing to say, really, and that's congratulations and thank you, because you really did give us a fight at the end of the championship, and it made it really, really exciting. And you're right, you had a bit of misfortune, but the fact that you've also gone and congratulated Tim just shows, what kind of personality you have. So well done, mate, and congratulations, and good luck for all your championship 2024.
Thank you.
Well, there we go, Connery. I think we're going to have a quick chat here with Tim as well. So Tim is waiting. We'll drag him in as well. So there we go. How does this sound then, Tim Yarshall, 2024 DTM Esports Champion?
Hello. I don't know what I should say. Yeah, really happy about this championship, about this year. Yes, we won. I'm really happy.
Nice one. You've given us an incredible season. I will say that now. I will say one thing. Like I've just mentioned, it was about the 10 races prior to today. Today was one of those where you just needed to get across the line. But how much pressure did you feel under, especially after race 2?
Oh, it was difficult. Yeah, it was difficult because only PB 15 in race 1, and then yeah, you can't sleep. You have to yeah, put it in your pace, and yeah, it was difficult, but I made it.
Yeah, and of course, you not only get the prize money, that is going to be very, very helpful for you, I suppose, but you also get that test with DTM and in an actual race car and a chance to get your racing license as well. Those I imagine those prizes are worth a little bit more for you than the money, right?
Of course. I'm really excited. It will be a great experience. The first one, the first day in a real car. So yeah, I'm really happy. Not more, not less.
I've commentated on you, Tim, many a time, and you haven't won that major championship up until today. How important was it for you? You've always been a real top tier sim racer, but how important was it for you in your progression moving forward? Was it to win a big championship?
Really important. The last championships in RaceRoom wasn't the best. I practiced hard, and it was difficult. I practiced hard, and I delivered the events. I delivered the results. So yeah, I'm really happy because long time after this not so good championship. So now the P1, and I'm really happy.
Nice one, mate. Well, congratulations, bud. And again, I'm going to say it for people at the back. Tim Yarshall is your DTM Esports Champion 2024.
Thank you very much.
Well, there we go. So that was a chat there with, of course, Tim Yarshall. He is our champion of the season. I think we've got Moritz Lohner waiting now. So we'll have a little chat with Moritz. Of course, he was probably the driver of the day today. So let's bring Moritz in, of course, a previous champion of the series. We just got to talk to our latest champion, Tim, but not the championship you would have wanted, Moritz, that's for certain. But you finished with a bang, as you normally do.
Yeah, hello guys. Good ending to the season, with I think a smile on my face, but also a little bit with a tear as well, because like the BMW was finally competitive now. I think it was pretty much the same, equal with the Porsche in quali. I think the Porsche had the edge in quali. We saw incredible times in practice, but I think it was probably harder for the Porsche to hit the lap. But in the race, the BMW was very good. And so yeah, it was for the first time this season I was able to basically go my pace and not be 0.3 down every single lap. So yeah, with that, to see now what could have been possible this season is a bit sad. Connected with a bit of sadness, but a good ending to the season. That's all I could have asked for. I think I should be P5 now in the standings, in the final standings, which is basically the best outcome for the season in this car. So I'm quite happy about it. A little bit of money as well. So yeah, great ending to the season. Was a lot of fun to finally push the BMW where it belongs, and yeah, was just good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you've gone through already all your struggles for this season with the BMW. Of course, it wasn't an ideal situation. So having this out of the way now, what's in the future for Moritz Lohner? You got anything good planned?
Definitely. Very soon, another big championship will start again soon. That needs all my focus. So yeah, already BOP is gonna be starting next week. So I immediately have to jump into my BMW again, push for BOP, and go for another championship. Or like another championship win is gonna be tough, but I'll always try my best. So yeah, let's see. But there's no break, nothing to relax about. We immediately continue.
Well, from one champion to another, I would like to ask for your advice for Tim. I made out I was a champion then. It's not me. Obviously, you've won this series before, and you got yourself a GT4 test, although we weren't allowed to use the term GT4, were we? But what advice would you have for Tim that's now won that prize, and obviously now he's DTM Esports champion?
Yeah, first of all, like also congratulations, like official congratulations to Tim. I already texted him on WhatsApp right after he crossed the line. Like I am so happy for him. Like he deserved it so much. He finally got the courage to and the motivation to actually practice, go and do the laps necessary, and it basically showed off what he's capable of if he put some focus in. So I'm very, very happy for him. He deserved it throughout this whole season to win this championship. Insane pace, and yeah, just can tell him to have fun in the GT4 test. You don't get these opportunities every day, so yeah, just like it was the same for me. I just had this test in the beginning. I also thought, it's just going to be a test, so there's nothing to get out of it. Because in the end, you'll always need money, but there will always be opportunities when you do well and you're a good person, and you try to be nice with the team and get along with each other, do connections, and that helps. So if he does that, has fun, and shows what he's capable of, also in the real car, then so maybe he's lucky and also can drive a season or just a few races, or even just one race would be nice. It's a tough business, so yeah, he just should just enjoy it, take everything in he can, because those opportunities will be a once in a lifetime opportunity, basically.
Awesome. Thank you, mate, and congratulations, and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
There you go, Connery. That is another season done and dusted under our belts. Is there any final thoughts from you?
Well, I've got to sort of reiterate what Moritz said there about Tim. This is such a well-deserved championship. It just goes to show, if you put the effort in, you put in the practice, you put in the laps, then you can achieve greatness, and that's the case for a lot of drivers. See the drivers at the top level of things. In the very, very top competitions, they're putting in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of laps of practice every week to be able to prepare for their big competitions. And this just goes to show, if you do that, because that seems to be the change that Tim has made, at least according to Moritz, then you can reap the results of it, and it's that hard work that really matters in the end.
100%. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. DTM Esports 2024 season done and indeed dusted. I want to say thank you to all of the team behind the scenes, putting together all of the graphics, the production team putting together the streams. Of course, to everybody who's been a part of the championship in terms of the teams and the drivers. To everyone watching at home. Connery, thank you to you as well. If you didn't know, Connery does all of the moving bits, and I just come here and say some random stuff that doesn't make sense most of the time. So thank you to Connery as well. He does all of the hard work. But yeah, that is another DTM 2024 season in the books. We had two prior champions in the series, Kevin Siggy and Moritz Lohner, but we've got a new champion. It's Tim Yarshall. 2024 belongs to Tim Yarshall. He is your DTM Esports champion 2024. We'll see you in 2025.